Red Bull didn't just show up in Barcelona with a new car, they showed up with a message. The moment the RB22 rolled out of the garage, engineers across the paddock stopped looking at lap times and focused on one thing only: the side pods. From the front, the car looks almost unreal. The bodywork is so narrow, so tightly wrapped, that some rival engineers genuinely questioned whether parts were missing. They weren't. This was intentional, and under the 2026 regulations, it's one of the boldest design calls we've seen so far. Before we break it all down, if you're here for deep, no-nonsense Formula One analysis that goes beyond headlines, make sure you subscribe to F1 Grid. This is where real F1 engineering stories get unpacked. The RB22 side pods are dramatically smaller than anything else on the grid. The frontal area is minimal, the cooling inlets are razor-thin, and the airflow is sculpted with extreme precision. Under the new 2026 rules, cooling has become one of the most critical performance factors in Formula One. Hybrid systems are more powerful, electrical deployment lasts longer, and components generate sustained heat over an entire lap. Most teams responded cautiously with bigger side pods, larger cooling openings, and wider safety margins. Red Bull went the opposite way. They chose aerodynamic efficiency over comfort, reducing the side pods to the absolute minimum to clean up airflow toward the rear of the car. That decision comes with serious risk. Heat doesn't negotiate. Under the 2026 power unit regulations, combustion heat is lower, but electrical heat is significantly higher and far more continuous. If a car can't manage that heat, it doesn't lose performance, it stops. What really raised eyebrows in the paddock is the comparison with Red Bull's sister team. Racing Bulls use the same power unit, yet their car features some of the largest cooling inlets on the grid. That contrast immediately sparked one big question: how is Red Bull getting away with this? The answer lies in airflow management, not airflow volume. Red Bull has rethought where cooling air enters, how it moves through the car, and where it exits. Much of the cooling load has been shifted upward and inward. A redesigned top-mounted inlet above the cockpit captures high-pressure air and feeds it directly into the hybrid cooling system. The airbox is larger and reshaped, handling far more thermal work than in previous designs. Then there's the most clever detail of all: the side pod exit strategy. Instead of dumping hot air straight out the back, Red Bull directs it toward the rear of the car, energizing airflow over the diffuser and rear wing. That means the cooling air doesn't just remove heat, it actively improves aerodynamic performance. Less drag, more stable downforce, and cleaner rear airflow. It's brilliant engineering, but it leaves almost no margin for error. Compared to their rivals, Red Bull's philosophy stands out sharply. Mercedes has gone conservative, prioritizing reliability with generous cooling openings. Ferrari has chosen a balanced approach, blending central intakes with moderate side pod volume. Red Bull, once again, has gone extreme, and if this works, it won't be easy to copy. Cooling architecture is baked into the chassis. You can't redesign it quickly once the season starts.
So far in Barcelona, the RB22 has completed solid mileage without obvious overheating issues, a positive early sign. But testing can hide problems. Races expose them. Full race distances, dirty air, high ambient temperatures, and that's where this concept will truly be tested. If the cooling holds, Red Bull could start the season with an aerodynamic advantage others simply can't match. If it doesn't, this gamble could unravel fast. What makes this even more interesting is how closely this concept aligns with Red Bull's long-standing strength: race pace. Cleaner airflow to the rear improves tire stability, reduces sliding, and lowers degradation. This isn't just about qualifying speed. If the RB22 behaves as intended, it could be devastating over long stints, especially at hot, high-stress races like Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Singapore. There's also a hidden benefit many fans overlook. Smaller side pods free up airflow around the floor, which remains the primary downforce generator in modern F1. Better airflow into the floor tunnels means more consistent ground effect performance. That gives Red Bull room to unlock even more performance through floor upgrades later in the season. And then there's Max Verstappen. Red Bull designs cars around their driver, and this concept fits him perfectly. Verstappen thrives in cars with strong rear stability and predictable balance. Improved airflow to the diffuser directly supports his aggressive braking, late corner entry, and tire management. This isn't just a Red Bull car, it's a Verstappen car. But here's the brutal reality. If Red Bull's calculations are even slightly off, fixing this won't be easy. You can trim bodywork on a conservative design. You can't quickly add cooling to a car that was never built for it. That's why the opening races of the season will be critical, not just results, but signs. Engine modes being limited, early lift and coast, unexpected reliability issues, those clues will tell us whether Red Bull has cracked the 2026 cooling puzzle or pushed it too far. One thing is certain, Red Bull didn't build the RB22 to be safe. They built it to stay ahead. Those tiny side pods aren't just bodywork, they're a statement. And very soon, Formula One will find out whether it's a masterstroke or the biggest gamble of the new era.